Moneyweb at midday. Top stories to keep your eyes and ears on.
South Africa is embracing advanced technology to bolster security at our borders, with drones now playing a vital role in this transformation. At the forefront is Milkor, a Pretoria-based company set to launch the Milkor 380. I'm told it's the largest drone ever made on the continent. It boasts capabilities to aid national defence and tackle pressing issues like crime and poaching. As government and the private sector recognise the potential of drone technology, my question is the country now shifting towards a more effective approach to security management? From the organisation Milkor, it's an aerospace company. Daniel du Plessis, Communications Director, thank you very much indeed. Let's wade in with that then. Why are drones becoming increasingly important in surveillance?
Thank you so much for having me, Jeremy. I appreciate it. I think you summed that up correctly. There's a large shift towards unmanned technologies in general. Not just in military environments, but also for regional and domestic peacekeeping operations. So what we've seen is that there's an influx in the safety and operational efficiency that unmanning a system can offer. Essentially, if you take it in a direct comparison, if you have to do surveillance operations from the air, you typically have an aircraft outfitted with a lot of sensors, with a pilot that can fly for a total estimate of between 6 to 8 hours at most. Where with an unmanned aerial vehicle, you can have the aircraft in the air, such as the Milkor 380, for more than 30 hours, with a maximum of 35 hours in a surveillance configuration. So it therefore gives you a larger type of operation with longer endurance surveillance operations to gather more intel and more information to make the decisions effectively.
And a lot more cost effective, one imagines.
That's exactly that as well. So instead of then having to pay the salaries and onboarding fees and the fuel costs, you do have a lot of weight savings in the operational efficiency and cost efficiency of an unmanned aerial system in the long run is always more beneficial. So that's something we've identified in the military environment, but if we focus solely on the South African issues currently faced, alongside the borders, alongside the domestic issues we have some issues with poaching activities in the Kruger National Park. All of these issues can be addressed with a system like the Milkor 380, and it's something we're pushing quite hard and hoping that we can find a solution with the government as well.
Let me ask you specifically about the country's border security. How would this drone be deployed, and how would it improve capability?
So essentially, the issues around the border and all of the activities that happen alongside it is now the responsibility of the Border Management Authority, or the BMA. And they have a very significant task ahead of them. They have to cover more than 4,000 kilometers of land border, and at the same time also patrol the ocean border of more than 2,500 kilometers as well. So it's a huge task, and equipment on the ground or on the sea itself will not cover it. It'll be a tremendous investment to get enough equipment. So deploying a system like the Milkor 380, which can fly for 4,000 kilometers in one single operation, allows you to have 24/7 surveillance capabilities. Now, if you strategically deploy some of these systems alongside your coastal borders and land borders, you essentially can switch them in a tandem where you have a continuous surveillance capability that uses very highly sophisticated sensors, radar apertures, and camera systems to identify patterns and recognize illegal crossings and illegal activities.
The challenge, of course, is always to ensure that these drones are used both responsibly and ethically.
It is a huge challenge, and it's something our company prioritizes quite well. It's not just about using it ethically, it's also making sure that the people on the ground that are operating this UAV are trained sufficiently to make the most out of the system that we provide. So it's for that reason that we've invested quite a lot of efforts into setting up facilities that can essentially train personnel, even if they have no prior knowledge to drone operations or any aeronautical operations, taking them from a very basic level of flight theory all the way to a fully qualified drone pilot within our company's internal training structures as well, which can last anywhere from 6 months to 1 year to efficiently train these operators. So it doesn't entail just the operation and the piloting of the drone, but also extracting information and maintaining the system as a whole.
And to that extent, has the South African Air Force been involved?
Yeah, so we've approached multiple entities within the DoD and the SANDF. There are some doctrines which allow certain branches of the SANDF to operate strategic and operational UAVs. So we've approached all of them, including the SAF, and we've also signed in a memorandum of understanding to continue testing this UAV with their help. And we've had tremendous support from their side as well. So yes, the discussions are ongoing. I think it is imminent that at some point the SANDF will be the primary user for this. But the invitation also stands to all security and defense clusters within South Africa, including the SAPS, SAMSA, and Transnet, as well as the newly established BMA, to open discussions and have a dialogue about the efficiency and the opportunities that these type of systems can offer.
How much do these things cost?
It's a very common question that I find. Typically, we try to keep it under wraps, but purely because it's a strategic asset, right? There are only about 7 or 8 countries in the world that have the capability to manufacture drones of this size. So therefore, we engage with the end users directly, and we try to keep it hidden from the rest of the market because it's a very competitive market out there.
When can we expect to see these drones fully deployed, do you think? Do you have a timeline?
So we've actually established a baseline now with the first few units sold and exported to some countries abroad. So therefore, we are moving away from a development cycle to an industrialization cycle and a manufacturing cycle. So these drones are essentially ready for deployment as we speak right now. Currently, we've built up to 8 units, with a few units to be imminent before the Q2 this year. So the order books are open, and we're ready to take orders and to start deploying these drones. So within the next 12 months, I think we could see some of these systems available in South Africa.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Daniel du Plessis, Communications Director at the aerospace company Milkor.